If your first thought when you see this video is it's just somebody on the subway filming themselves on their phone, I'd completely excuse that. But this is much more than that. This is OpenAI's new text-to-video model that they're calling Sora. And in OpenAI's own words, we're teaching AI how to understand and simulate the physical world in motion, with the goal of training models that help people solve problems that require real-world interaction. Sora can generate videos up to a minute long while maintaining visual quality and adherence to the user's prompts. So how did we go from Will Smith eating spaghetti to this photorealism in just a few short months? And if you think this is just about high-quality, stable diffusion video, you'd be a little bit off. Dr. Jim Fan is one of the leading AI researchers over at NVIDIA, and he says, if you think OpenAI Sora is a creative toy like DALL-E, think again. Sora is a data-driven physics engine. It's a simulation of many worlds, real or fantastical. The simulator learns intricate rendering, intuitive physics, long horizon reasoning, and semantic grounding, all by some denoising and gradient maths. Wouldn't be surprised if Sora is trained on lots of synthetic data using Unreal Engine 5. It has to be. And this is the video that Jim goes on to describe. The simulator instantiates two exquisite 3D assets, pirate ships with different decorations. Sora has to solve text to 3D implicitly in its latent space. The 3D objects are consistently animated as they sail and avoid each other's paths. Fluid dynamics of the coffee, even the foams that form around the ships. Fluid simulation is an entire subfield of computer graphics, which traditionally requires very complex algorithms and equations. Photorealism, almost like rendering with ray tracing. The simulator takes into account the small size of the cup compared to oceans, and it applies tilt-shift photography to give a minuscule vibe. The semantics of the scene do not exist in the real world, but the engine still implements the correct physical rules that we expect. And that's what makes this all so mind-bending. This isn't just about creating these amazing videos, it's about simulating the entire physical world around us. OpenAI has figured out a way to almost get us to a quicker path towards artificial general intelligence in which machines and computers need to understand how to recreate the entire world around us in a physically accurate way. Let's take a look at more of the examples. Here we see somebody scuba diving. You can see the gear that they're wearing. They're bobbing around in the water. Bubbles are coming up behind them and there's reflections above them in the water. Highly realistic. And Sora can also create infinitely looping videos. This video of these two mountain bikes continues on forever and it looks photorealistic. If you just showed me a quick clip of this, I would have no idea that this was AI generated. Now the videos aren't perfect. Look at her feet in this video, for example. You can see that the movements aren't quite right. She seems to just slightly slide across the ground, and you can see sometimes the legs cross in an unnatural way. But overall, if you panned up slightly or you cropped this video, you'd have a very difficult time telling that this wasn't a real video. And this is one of my favorite examples, these woolly mammoths walking towards you. You can sense the weight of them as they step down on the ground, and you can actually see the snow exploding underneath the weight of their feet. This level of detail is something that physics simulations would have had to spend countless hours rendering previous to this. And I think we can say goodbye to the days of using drones to shoot B-roll footage for videos and movies too, because look at this. It's this beautiful coastline with these waves crashing into the shore, and none of it is real. But I would have no idea by looking at this. Here's the prompt for that one. Drone view of waves crashing against the rugged cliffs along Big Sur's Gary Point. The crashing blue waters create white-tipped waves while the golden light of the setting sun illuminates the rocky shore. So they're actually telling it to create each element within this, not only the rocky shore, but also the waves, even talking about the lighthouse. Really cool. And Pixar's days might be numbered too. Look at this character and the way it animates, the way it interacts with the objects around it. This is something we've never seen before from text to video model. In the prompt, an animated scene features a close-up of a short, fluffy monster kneeling beside a melting red candle. The art style is 3D and realistic. So this not only does realism, it does any art style you can think of. Here's a hyper-realistic video of a bird. You can even see its eyes dilate as its pupils move at certain points. really, really cool. And of course, who doesn't like to sit on a cloud and read a book when they're enjoying some leisure time? So as of right now, Sora is becoming available to red teamers. These are people that assess the quality. It's internal team members and some external team members of OpenAI. They're granting access to a number of visual artists, designers, filmmakers. They want to gain feedback on how to advance the model to make it better, more helpful for creative professionals. And here are some examples of how this might help in filmmaking, for example. Historical footage of California during the gold rush. This is mind-bendingly good. Or a close-up video of a glass sphere that has a Zen garden inside of it. About a close-up video of a 24-year-old's eye blinking. Look at the detail in the eye movement. It all looks pretty natural. And that's something we haven't seen before from these models. Or this, a market scene with hundreds of people in view of Lagos, Nigeria. Look at the detail as it pans around. All of the objects are staying coherent. This is something we haven't seen from these models before either. The ability for it to actually not bend and twist. Normally the 3D models or the items that are in the background of footage tend to morph over time, especially the longer the video becomes. But these, they're all completely stable. I can barely see anything that looks abnormal here. Maybe a little bit of the chairs or some small details. But if you were just using this as B-roll, you'd have no idea it wasn't real. And if you run a stock video footage company right now, I would sell immediately, close your doors, do whatever you need to do. This is in days for your business. I'm never gonna have to buy B-roll again or shoot B-roll myself again. You can make anything you want. Look at the details of the dirt coming off the back of this. Well, it should be a Range Rover, but you know, the text coherence may be a little off, or maybe this is just the name that they gave it in the prompt. And here's another example of that amazing drone footage. This one, the Amalfi Coast, coming up over these rocks and shoreline is really spectacular. Just stop and look at this one for a minute. This is a simulation of an octopus in the ocean. Think about what's going on here, how much it has to understand the physics of the reality that it's in. Not only that it's underwater, but it has 8 arms with tentacles. It can grab things, it can move in a certain way, and there's no seeming collisions happening. The arms are actually looking like they would on a real octopus. This is pretty crazy. And check this one out. Oh my gosh, look at the cat. The cat looks super realistic. It looks like it might have had 2 hands there. Let's look at its paws. Okay, when it puts it up there, oh no, it's both hands. But it looks like, I don't know, maybe it had 2 paws there. Kind of a little weird, but man, that's pretty darn convincing. I just can't get over these. These are so incredibly good. These birds, I wouldn't know that they're not real. I wouldn't know that somebody didn't actually film this footage. And the wildest part about this whole thing is this doesn't just generate video. It can actually generate photos as well. So there's some speculation that perhaps this is going to be the ultimate replacement for DALL-E. And this doesn't just do text to video, this also does video to video as well. Here's some sample footage input into the model, and then you can start to make iterative changes over it. You can see that keep the video the same, but make it winter. Make it have dinosaurs. Change the setting to a lush jungle. Make it in space with a rainbow road. Pretty crazy. And the obvious implications here are to filmmakers, videographers, people who do this stuff for a living. I've talked about this several times before on my channel, and I think we're heading towards this world where you have 24/7 streaming video. That's exactly the type of subject and content that you're looking for. Inject your friends into the video, inject family members, make you the hero of your own movie. But this also goes way beyond that. It isn't just those impacts. I think we get to a point where you can completely simulate the real world within one of these models. And once you can do that, I think you've really, truly reached artificial general intelligence, and you have intelligent machines that can understand the world around us and how we all interact within it. And that's both exciting and a little bit terrifying. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. As always, I'm Brian Levitt, and remember, all your tech are belong to us, at least for now.
I'm the virtual prophet in the tech town, breaking down AI, wearing the crown. From basics to complex, never let you down. All your tech AI, earning the renown.